Has success ever left you dissatisfied? I mean, think about it. Sometimes you have achieved a lot of things, but you don't feel really that great about that achievement. I'm going to tell you what is happening within that success. Hello, everyone. Welcome to CSK Speaks. I am CSK and I am an educator. As an educator, I have always looked for inspiration to inspire my students, to inspire people around me, my team, my people who I work with, because inspiration is absolutely required for us to, one, self reflect or introspect, two, to keep going at our goals, and three, more importantly, to remain satisfied with whatever we do. Satisfaction. That's the word for today's video. As I asked you at the beginning, many of us, we achieve a lot of things in our life, but not every achievement, not every success gives us that level of desired satisfaction. Have you ever wondered why? Have you asked yourself that what is missing every single time I feel dissatisfied? And this is even more concerning because you are not dissatisfied because of a failure. You are dissatisfied because of your success. Now, suddenly, success does not mean that positive, isn't it? Well, to understand that, let's go back and dive deep into one of those milestone sports person. This guy, Kelly Slater, is a 11-time world champion of surfing. Now, for those of us who wonder what surfing is that sport where you enjoy the rhythms of the ocean with just a plank of wooden piece. In layman terms, you are fend to nothing in that vast ocean. You ride the wave. Sometimes those waves are as high as a multi-storied building, and you go within and you come out by achieving a nice rhythm with it. So there are a lot of things which are involved when it comes to surfing. Your body, your hand and head and legs coordination, the way you read the wave, the way you are able to balance, and more importantly, not giving up. Because waves, as we all know, keep coming at us. And the minute you give up is the beginning of your end. Now, Kelly Slater, in my story, Kelly Slater talks of one important experience. But before that, let's understand who Kelly Slater is. As I said, he's an 11-time world champion of surfing. Kelly Slater, just 49 years as on today, has broken what people thought was unbreakable. The world record, 11-time champion. And out of all the 11 times, that experience which he holds dear even to this day, and he has written, spoken, and also interacted with people widely about this experience, is the experience of winning the world championship for the 7th time. Yes, the 7th time he came as close to losing it. And that's the experience which he says is dear to his heart. And this is why. He said, I made it to the top 3, as always. Public were cheering for me because I am the 6th-time champion then. And this time I had 2 other guys with me. So that was 3 of us who were fighting out for the final world champion title. Now, when I was getting ready, there are 3 rounds to actually get my hands on those trophies. So in the first round, I was not performing to the best of my capacity. Maybe the weight of my 6 previous championship was kind of weighing down on my head, and I was doing absolutely everything by the book. My head was in the right place. I did everything to give my best performance, but in round number 1, I scored less compared to the other two guys. Now, when I took a break and sat down as I was preparing for round number two, I was wondering as to why, in spite of me doing everything by the book, using my head, my skills wisely, I'm not able to get that score of 10 on 10. He tries his best, he speaks to his coaches, he practices, and then he goes back for number two, the round number two of the finals. Even at that time, he was unable to crack the code, as they say, and he was not happy with his performance. Now, with this, his average has come down drastically compared to the other two. He was better than his round one, but he was not going anywhere, and he knew it. In fact, he knew that which many people did not know yet, his supporters, that he might not make it to the World Championship this time around. Now, when he sat down after round two and took a break, and as he was supposed to go back to round number three, he kind of shut off all the noises around him, including his coach, including the people, supporters, and he just went into a silent zone. And there, a lot of these things came into his consideration. One, what will people think if he loses? He could not defend his 6-time champion status. Two, what is going wrong? He was doing everything by the book and somehow is not getting that flow. And three, most important, for a fraction of a second, his arrogance took over. But rightfully so in this case, because his arrogance said, so what if I lose it? I have always won. I am 6 times world champion. If this one time I lose, how does it matter? People will always support me. Of course, nobody can win it all the time, isn't it? The third thought got the better of him. And this time he said, it's okay. I am not going to fight to win. But he also said one more important thing, and that is what makes this the most memorable win of his career. He said, well, anyway, now that I'm not playing to win, let me play to entertain. Let me do the best what I can when I go out there so that my supporters, my people who are here only because of me and who are here for the love of the sport of surfing will enjoy and get entertained to the maximum when I am there performing for them. And with that, he takes his surfing board, walks straight, and this time Kelly Slater is a different person as he enters the performing arena, that is the ocean in this case. And when he goes there for 15 minutes, he is surfing and he's riding the waves and he's actually getting engulfed by waves. People are enjoying because he is performing one trick after the other without caring a damn about the result. He is just performing for the sake of performing, loving the game for the sake of loving, not for winning. Entertaining for the sake of entertaining his people. In fact, history book records that he had to, or his surfing board broke and he lost one piece of it. But there was another piece which he was holding on to with his left leg, and he now used that piece to complete his surf and display his performance. And when he came back, he had won. Not just the hearts of the people, but even the scoreboard. Because his performance, his average, took him above the other two. And thus, Kelly Slater became the world championship or world champion of surfing for the 7th consecutive time. He goes on to become the world champion for the next 4 more times. He is 11-time world champion of surfing, as we all know it. But then he said that 7th victory was special to him because it came directly from his heart. And he goes on to categorize that the first 6 victories, even though they were very, very dear to him, came from his head, from his brain. By doing everything right by the book, by practicing and by turning up and by showing up and by giving his best performance. But the seventh victory came from his heart. Now that's where I want to stop and go back. 11 times he won, but he holds only one time dear to him because that was the win which gave him absolute satisfaction. And that brings me to the question that sometimes we win, sometimes we succeed, but we feel that we are not 100% satisfied, isn't it? So, friends, look at it from the perspective of your heart, the state of flow. When your heart is in it, you eventually will win. And that win is the sweetest. And sometimes we just try to do things for the sake of doing. Now, there are times where you can debate as to why is that necessary, or is it really that the way to go? But if you really want to have satisfaction, make that success sweet for you for the rest of your life, there are no secret codes. The only way is to work through your heart. Is the only way, the heart way. So friends, I am here to talk to you about that concept. The concept of your heart is smarter than your brain. Yes. And scientists have proven that there is a brain in your heart itself, or rather, let me rephrase it. Heart has its own brain. 40,000 neurons exist in your heart, which means our hearts have a brain or a nervous system of its own. And that's why sometimes your brain may delay in deciding what to do and what not to do, but your heart always has an answer. So the next time you go about succeeding, by all means use your brain, but do not forget to put your heart into it, because that's what is going to give you that sweet satisfaction in the end. Thank you very much for watching CSK Speaks.